So hello everyone, this is Saturday, July 23, 2022 and we are doing the Hindu Delhi edition, and as usual we'll be first identifying the most important news followed by a detailed discussion of the same. So let's see. Okay, Azam Khan will not require. Just know this thing, Mr. Dinesh Gunawardena has been sworn in as the Sri Lanka's Prime Minister, right? Okay. Surai Poturu. Surarai Poturu. Okay, national awards for best film. Fine. So CBSC. Obviously they will. Okay, fine. So there was nothing on first page. There is nothing out here, I think. No, nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. And now they are talking about this Jharkhand Tourism. Okay, very good. Branch of Jharkhand Tourism Policy 2021. Okay. Okay, we'll do this because it is just saying the opposite of what we are seeing, right? So we have to see that how it is justified, so that we can write both sides in the answer. Okay, there is nothing here. What is this? Law panel examine simultaneous election. Okay. BJP, BJD seeks to gain political mileage out of Murmu's victory. Fine, fine. US aid agency visit. Okay. The wheat export ban and indemnity issue with US vaccines may be discussed. Fine. No need to do. Let it get discussed first. What do we mean by this din? Okay, we'll see this very briefly. Antarctic Bill, will have to see this also. Okay, so there is nothing out here. Now let's see there. This was expected. Seal grain export deal, yes, because both of them has excess of material with them, they cannot store it. So let's get some money so that more can be plunged into war, right? So there is nothing here. So we'll see this because Mr. Shashikant Das has said something, and he is the RBI governor right now. So it gives the glimpse of the monetary policy that RBI is going to take, right? So we'll see that. We'll do this also. RBI is stepped in. This is an example of dirty floating system. Okay. And now we are on the sports page. So India scored 308 run, right? Let me see the scoreboard. So 308, 7 wickets, right? 97, 64, 54, 13, 12, 27. Okay, fine. So I don't think we have any relevant news here. So with respect to our examination, obviously. So let's go on and analyze the important news. And as we have seen, there was nothing on these pages now. So let's directly read this. Despite pressure, the rupee remarkable resilience. Why it is saying so? Even the rupee has fallen sharply against dollar. The depreciation has been relatively low, unlike previous time. Okay, so it is talking about the rate of fall. Okay, has been relatively lower. So it's just like a silver lining. Okay, let's see. Chandrajit Banerjee. First, let's see his credentials. Director General of CII. Okay, a very credible person. Depreciated by about 7% since start of the year in response to various domestic and global factors. Okay, as a geopolitical tension, strengthening dollar index and continued sell of foreign portfolio investors have pulled pressure on rupee, right? Okay, safe haven demand. It must be noted that dollar has strengthened against all currency, developed or emerging. The runaway inflation level since last year, which has seen consumer CPI inflation in the United States reaching as far as 9.1%, a multi-decadal high in June 2022, have prompted the reversal in US monetary policy stance of the US Fed. I have explained it n number of times, so you look up to the last videos. It is very easy, or I think I must now make a videos on this also, no? To explain the basics of this, so that every time I come up with such news, I can just give you a I button link there. Okay, US with inflation rising unabated, Fed is widely expected to continue raising interest rate. Obviously, unsurprisingly, the rate hike cycle in US Fed has precipitated the dollar appreciation, which led to dollar index strengthened by over 11%. Okay. As a result, higher risk-free returns being available in US. This is a very good keyword. Higher risk-free returns being available in US. There has been persistent outflow of FP capital since October 2021, which on cumulative basis stand at 30 billion this year. So this year 30 billion foreign portfolio investment or foreign portfolio capital has gone out. This has intensified the downward pressure on rupee. The safe haven demanded for the dollar amid geopolitical risk has bolstered the dollar index. The Reserve Bank of India has stepped in to arrest the large depreciation in the currency with intervention in the spot and forward foreign. Okay, so what has RBI has done? Stepped in to arrest the large depreciation in currency with interventions in the spot and forward foreign exchange market. So two places intervention. Okay, on the spot and forward foreign exchange markets. Okay, consequently, India's foreign exchange reserve have moderated by almost 55 billion from a high of 635 billion seen this year. 632 in December last year it was, right? So in January it should have been 635. Elevated global crude oil prices have infringed on India's oil import bill, in turn widening the trade deficit, thus increasing demand for US dollar and affecting forex reserve further. Means, look, elevated global crude oil price have been infringed on India's oil import bill, because India's oil as a commodity is a very what we say inelastic commodity. We will buy oil even if it costs high, right? So rising crude prices means more import bill for India, and just leading to trade deficit. Okay, and increasing the demand for US dollar and affecting forex reserve. Why? Because look, we have to buy the these things, this petrol, means this crude oil in what we have to we buy that in dollar. We give rupee, we convert rupee to dollar and then buy those things, because we are buying from international markets. Since dollar has strengthened, so more rupee is needed to buy the same amount of dollar, and since the cost of this per barrel crude has increased, so more dollars are now required to buy the same amount of oil. So this means more pressure on rupee. Okay, and it affects the forex reserve. Notably, even the rupee has fallen sharply against dollar. The depreciation has been relatively low compared with past crisis. Okay, so like global financial crisis of 2008 and taper tantrum of 2013. Much of this attributed to lowering of India's external vulnerability measured in terms of relatively high import cover and low short-term external debt. So how this has happened, why the depreciation has been lower, how Indian economy became more resilient. So this is because much of this is attributed to lowering of India's external vulnerability, okay, measured in terms of how this vulnerability has been lowered. It is measured in terms of, or it is gauged in terms of relatively high import cover. So we have a more import cover because our forex reserve is high. Okay, so this is first factor, and low short term external debt. So and our external debt for short term is low. So we don't have to give the capital right now. It means we have to give less capital amount. We have to return less capital right now. During the taper tantrum, India import cover stood at over 7 months as compared to around 12 months in current period. Okay, we know that we have about $630 billion, or say we have about 550-560 billion dollars right now as our forex reserves, and that is about 13 months, 13.5 months it was, to take it as 12 months right now. Wait a minute, let me adjust the mic, it has fallen. Now let's move further. Effects of a weak rupee. The implication of weak rupee on economy is multifold. Among the benefits, its premise that rupee is weakening should aid exporters. Okay, benefit is what? It should aid exporters in becoming more competitive. Okay, there is this term I used to remember when I used to study the basics. RIDE. Okay, means depreciation will favor exports. Okay, and appreciation or depreciation will favor imports. You okay? You got it? Okay. Now, however, concomitant depreciation concomitant depreciation of currency of some Indian currencies of some Indian competitors such as South Korea, Malaysia, and Bangladesh against dollar, along with high import intensity of some of its key export segment, is likely to have blunted the ameliorative impact of India's export. Means what? Not only our currency is falling, others' currency are also falling. And look, we say we used to export 100 units of some item, and our competitor also used to export 120 units of that same item, right? Now what had happened, we expected that our currency has fallen, so we will be able to supply say 130 now, but what is happening, their currency has also fallen and they will be supplying 140 now, so they become more competitive than us. Okay, and is likely to have blunted ameliorative impact on, okay, slower global demand is expected to affect outbound shipments as well. Fine. On the flip side, a weaker rupee is driving up prices of key import commodities such as coal, oil, edible oil, gold, and thus impacting imported component of inflation. The unhedged component of corporate debt is denominated in dollars is also likely to bear the brunt of weaker rupees. Obviously, most importantly, a continuously sliding exchange rate discourages foreign investors from making fresh investments, which keep losing the value in dollar term. For the reason, it is ideal to provide confidence to the investor by arresting the continuous slide in exchange rate. Of course, any target should be avoided as global forces may remain fluid and market forces should be allowed to play. Okay, why global forces remain fluid? Because there is a war going on, inflation is at its peak, and all the major reserve banks or federal banks are trying to tame the inflation, right? So RBI measure, apart from intervening in forex market, okay, to arrest the fall in rupee, RBI announced new measures of recently liberalizes foreign inflows into the country and make them more attractive. Measures such as, why it is doing so? So that there is increased dollar in the economy, okay, to bring dollar in the economy. Measures such as promoting trade settlement between India and other country in term of rupee term. This would do what? This would actually take rupee out of the economy and bring some other foreign currencies in the economy, okay, that may have better rates, exchange rate than India, right? So again, it would help to maintain the balance of payment and all those things. Offering higher interest rates on fresh foreign currency non-resident bank and NRE, means non-resident external deposit, widening the investable universe of government and corporate debt, a relaxation of interest rate and amount of ceiling of external commercial borrowing loans, among others, have contributed to arresting of rupee slide against dollar greenback. What is this? These measures are just for increasing the dollar in the economy, right? Some other measure could be considered if the slide in currency continue abated. The government could encourage a very good article. This gives the glimpse of the conceptual clarity of this person. Now, some of the large market cap companies to be included in major global indices such as MSCI and FTSE. This will help to increase the weight of Indian equities in these indices, compensating for foreign portfolio outflow to some of the extent as investors are unlikely to underweight on India. Okay, so this is one of the fact. The government could also expedite India's entry into bond indices such as JP Morgan emerging market bond, etc., etc. This would not only lead to foreign inflows but also have benign impact on interest rate. Okay, so two things it will do: it will bring forex to the economy and also have a very good impact on the interest rate. Such measures will keep the forest war chest of India at comfortable level, providing central bank requisite ammunition in case of its further weakness. Of course, any excessive capital inflow leading to appreciation of currency should be avoided, obviously, because anything high is not good for economy. Everything should be gradual, should be substantive, right? Overall, even the rupee expected to remain under pressure in near term because of global uncertainty, high commodity prices and rising US interest rate. Mitigating measures have to be taken to partly arrest the slide. The maintenance of US-India interest rate differential along with timely forex market intervention by central bank to manage volatility will prove to be salutary in preserving the rupee value against the greenback. Okay, so this is it. A very good article. Make note of it. You will find it very easy in prelims, and I think in 2020 prelims we are getting a question from here, right? This is very apparent that questions will be turned from here, and that too in a way that it looks that it has come from static section and not from the dynamic section, because I think in over 6 months, over 4-5 months we have seen rupees sliding, and in next 6-7 months also it will be sliding because war is going there, inflation taming needs time. So I think by December or so we will see some appreciation of rupee, maybe. So if we are considering May as exam date, so April or March end is the time when the paper will be set, means it would be done setting that. So inflation is a expected topic, right? Law panel to examine simultaneous election. Okay, 50 state polls held from 2014 to 2022. Okay, it has been referred to law. The matter has been referred to Law Commission for practical roadmap and a framework can be worked out. Union Law Minister has said. Okay, election expenses. Let's see. The entire expenses on conduct of election to Lok Sabha is borne by the centre, and expenditure on the conduct of election to the state legislature is borne by respective state government when such polls are held independently. In case the elections are held simultaneously, the expenditure is borne by the state concerned and the centre on 50-50 basis. The fund distributed by state and territory between 2014 and 2022 is about 7,500 crores. So two data we get here. One is this 50 state poll held from 2014 to 2022 with expenditure of more than 7,500 crores, right? So this is a very good data and we must have it. Okay, let's see what else is there for us here. Din in Rajya Sabha over private member bill, and what is the bill all about? Let's see. Opposition stages protest against the bill on UCC repeal of places of worship act. Opposition member protested against the introduction of private member bill on repeal of place of worship act in Rajya Sabha on Friday. The bill moved by BJP member Harinath Singh Yadav could not be introduced as member was absent. Oh my god. Yes, yesterday was Friday, and on Friday they talk about this bill. So since he was absent, so it cannot be introduced. And you must understand the fact that private, what is a private member bill. This is important because it is one of the favorite topic of UPSC, especially in prelims, right? So let me tell you, MP who is not a minister is a private member. Okay, for consideration of for the introduction of bill. Fine. So just know these things. So there was a bill on uniform civil code, and there was a bill on right to health bill, and okay, it is enough. Just know that these are on the cards, right? Antarctic Bill passed in Lok Sabha, it was, because this is an international obligation. The bill extends the jurisdiction of Indian courts. The Lok Sabha on Friday passed Indian Antarctic Bill, and amid the clamor of from opposition have more discussion. Okay, there were no amendments to the text of the bill and was passed after a voice vote. Earth Scientist Minister said that such law was necessary under India's obligation as signatory to Antarctica Treaty 1963. The Antarctica Bill was introduced in Lok Sabha in April this year, and its overarching aim is to regulate visits and activities of Antarctica, as well as set ground rule for potential disputes that may arise among those present on the continent. The bill also prescribes penal provisions for certain serious violations. Under its provision, private tours and expenditure of Antarctica would be prohibited without permit or written authorization by a member country, and all those things are there. The bill also extends jurisdiction of Indian coast to Antarctica and lay out penal provisions for crime on the continent by Indian citizen, foreign citizen who are part of Indian expedition or in the precedence of Indian research station. Okay. So whoever is Indian, with Indian or in the camp of Indian is liable to be, is covered under the Indian judiciary's power, right? So after this, we have to see one or two news on economy page, right? RBI will iron out the volatile rupee move, says Satyakant Das, our RBI governor. Let's see. Das says will act to ensure rupee find its level, currency holding up well relative to advanced period. Yes, this is what the article also says, that the depreciation is there, but its rate has been lower, right? Reserve Bank of India Governor Satyakant Das stressed on Friday that while central bank was committed to ensuring that the rupee found its level in line with the fundamentals and did not target any specific value, it would intervene decisively to iron out any volatile or bumpy movements in the currency's exchange rate. I would like to reiterate that we have no particular level of rupee in mind, but we would like to ensure its orderly evolution, as we have zero tolerance for volatility and bumpy movements. Okay, he said that here and there. Okay, fine. Asserting that rupees was holding up relatively well to both advanced and emerging peers due to India's underlying fundamentals being strong, resilient and intact. Mr. Das says RBI's action, including measures to encourage inflows, have ensured that rupee moves have been relatively smooth and orderly. By issuing the sudden and volatile shift, we ensure that expectations remain anchored and forex market functions with stable and liquid manner. Fine. Give it a read. It is just that. Okay, let me read it. Underscoring the need to recognize the spillover from global and monetary policy tightening, geopolitical situation still elevated commodity prices, especially for crude, and as well as in lingering effects of pandemic, and all has combined effect on currencies worldwide. Even reserve currencies such as Japanese yen, euro and British pound sterling have not been spared. Yes, this is true. Portfolio funds are selling off asset and fleeing to safe havens. Emerging market economies are particularly affected by capital outflow, currency depreciation, reserve drawdowns, complicating macroeconomic management. Okay, so this is the features for macroeconomic management. Mr. Das said the impact of these overwhelming spillovers of India has been relatively modest. The reserve adequates, emphasizing that economic recovery was gradually strengthening. He said current account deficit is modest. Inflation is stabilizing, financial sector is well capitalized and sound, external debt to GDP is declining, foreign exchange reserves are adequate. In recognition to the fact that there was shortfall of supply of forex in the market relative to demand because of import and debt servicing requirement and portfolio outflow, the RBI has been supplying dollars to ensure that there was adequate forex liquidity. Okay, so it has been supplying dollar from where? From its forex reserve, right? And we have this rupee snaps 11-week losing streak. RBI steps into $79.90. It has gone past 80, right? 80.101 it has become. Okay, fell through $80 mark. The particularly convertible repo. Okay, the RBI has zero tolerance for volatile. Okay. Bond yield edged lower. This is here. Okay, tracking the US peer. Okay, fine. DBS is a note that despite recent signs suggesting inflation may have peaked, it was premature to get inflation on. Past RBI study has shown that 5% depreciation in rupee versus the baseline projection could push inflation higher by about 20 basis points on vice versa. The RBI baseline projection was $76 as per April report, right? This explains RBI preference to anchor exchange rates so as not to aggravate supply side prices. Okay, fine. So we are done, I think, with today's newspaper analysis. Okay, so with this we end up today's newspaper analysis. I hope you like it. If you like it, consider subscribing the channel, liking the content, okay, commenting and sharing with your friends and peers. So it's time to say a goodbye to you all. So goodbye all, good luck, best of luck, study hard and Jai Hind.
So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also, keep studying hard, keep following your dreams and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.